Welcome back. I am Jon Najarian, and this is 3 at 3. 3 at 3 every business day. We bring you unusual option activity. We also bring you sentiment from our scans of Twitter as well as Wall Street Bets and Reddit. What you choose to do with it is your business, my friends. Remember, all investments involve risk. All right, let's get started with September 2nd, 2021. Brian Sullivan and Pete Najarian there talking about some unusual option activity and some also unusually athletic guys. Brian, you may or may not know, was a rugby player at, I think, Va Tech. Not positive, but I think it was Virginia Tech. And Pete, of course, an All-American football player at University of Minnesota and a professional football player on too many teams to name. But let's get started with unusual option activity, starting with Unity. U is the symbol here, letter U. This one, we spotted unusual activity. The stock was 131.77. Unity Software, as the name implies, a software play. Keep an eye on the September 150 calls. Now, most of you know, but I will repeat, every single show that I don't buy those way out of the money calls. That is just not my game. It never really was my game, but especially when you have enough money to not need to hit home runs. I want to hit for average, folks. I want to go bang, 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 and knock these balls right through the infield. I don't need to swing for the fences. I bet many of you don't need to swing for the fences. When you do swing for the fences, you tend to have a lower batting average. I want a higher batting average, and I want more money in my account at the end of each day, at the end of each week, at the end of each month, at the end of each quarter, at the end of each year. That's the way I trade. All right, so they're buying September 150 calls, regular expiration September 150s. These would be the September 17th expiration. There are no weeklies in Unity Software. So those calls are trading presently for 70 cents on the bid, 75 cents on the offer. There is Pete identifying that unusual activity, showing you that nearly 10,000 of those changed hands, as you saw, 5,300, now nearly 10,000 as of the time Pete was on air. There is the stock moving to 132.60. So stock's at 130-ish. What do you want to do? Well, you could buy the 135s and sell the 140s. You could buy the 130s and sell the 135s. I'm going to do those 1-to-1 because that's the way that I play. Now, for those of you who want to go in the deep end of the pool, you could go in and sell out of the money puts. So for instance, frequently people will come on the halftime report and elsewhere and say, I like this stock, but I like it $5 cheaper. I like this stock, but I like it at 125, not at 132. Okay, go sell the 125 puts. Collect $170 per put. 10 of them is 1,700 bucks. It obligates you to buy the stock at 125. Not really as certain about that. I'd buy it $5 lower or whatever thing, huh? Well, anyway, that's one way to play it. And if you didn't want to assume that much risk, you could buy a put underneath it. Sell the 125s, buy the 120 puts. That spread can only go to $5. You've got a $7 drop before it even gets to that level where it would violate your 125 calls. Those are a couple different ways to play unusual option activity, folks. All right, second trade today. Pete identified it on the halftime report, Lucid. This one, stock's 1862. We see unusual activity, 15,000 of these calls, the weekly that expire tomorrow. So just as I've already said, that's deep end of the pool, folks, meaning you better be able to swim when you're in the deep end of the pool. And in this case, the deep end of the pool, just one day hence, means that these calls, the September 20 calls that expire tomorrow, you've got seconds to trade that and make money on it. Here it is, 2 days in a row, strong activity in those September 120s. And there is the stock moving up to 1879. Bang. So again, those are the sort of things, folks, that you want to pay attention to. Stocks moving up to 1879, high of the day, 1892, 33 million share turnover, which is a lot more than average LCID. The range, look at that for the year, 52-week year, $9.60 to $64. So you are in a very short-term trade with this one. It just fell off from about 20 and a half, 21, all the way down to 17. It's making its way back, but you've got a clock that's ticking like that, so be aware. Third and final trade is Sofi. And I noticed that some people were giving Pete crap because, you know, when either of us talk about a stock, it is not uncommon to see that stock pop. It is not uncommon to see the options pop. However, in Sofi, they're buying next week expiration, 10th of September expiration calls at the 1550 strike. Now, nothing says you have to buy those calls, folks. You could instead elect to buy the 15 calls, the at the money call. It's up to you if you want to buy anything at all in here. These, again, are deep end of the pool trades because you've only got a week and 1 day. So you've basically got 6 trading days for something to happen or not even 6, 5. What am I saying? Because we don't trade on Monday. It's Labor Day, right? All right. So Sofi buying upside calls, 1550s. There's the stock hovering right around that $15 level still. Popped as high as 1520 when Pete mentioned it. 15.8 million share turnover. Market capitalization, 11.8 million. Billion. 11.8 billion. Questions? All right. Jon Najarian on Twitter. That's John with no H. My dad was the guy with an H. All right. By Dupin, that's BIADUPIN, says, between now and the end of the year, which sectors, which companies do you see the most upside based on medium-term length option hits in your Rebellion Heat Seeker portfolio or tool? I don't really do trades that way, quite frankly, by Dupin. But since you asked, I will try to give you an answer because I'm driven by what's in there now. And most of the trades aren't out that far into the future to the year end. So what would I do here? I think healthcare makes comeback. I think some of the reopened plays that were hammered, like the airlines, make a comeback. I think that's a fourth quarter trade based on what has happened recently. If we all knew Delta was coming back in March, then I wouldn't have been as bullish on those reopening plays. But, you know, you take some profits, then you start taking losses, and then you wait until Delta and other issues like mask mandates and so forth die down. So that would be a fourth quarter trade that I would pay attention to. BABA. All right. Do you think we get back to buying BABA? Any UOA, unusual option activity? This comes our way of at RUP 1411. Well, we have had unusual activity in BABA. Fortunately, a couple of weeks ago, Pete cited that, and it made me some nice money pretty fast. Stock was 154, and we said, hey, it looks like it may have turned. And indeed it did. Back then, they were buying the just upside calls at the 150 strike. They rolled up to the 160. And now, just last week, they were buying the, 175 calls. And what am I in right now? Right now in BABA, I am not. The reason I am not is the calls that they were buying expired last week. And as you may have heard me say many times, I buy the expiration that the smart money is buying. I don't buy the strike necessarily, but I buy the expiration. So when these expire, I don't have a position anymore. That's the way it worked. Now let's talk about any, because Jessica Westwick, and her handle is at JESS_WESTWICK. She tweeted you on any, apparently, she says. Will Mead, real Will Mead said, long any. I gave you BBIG and support. Now I'm telling you, any is the next big short play. Borrow cost is 78%. It was 100% 2 days ago, Will. But anyway, maybe it's 8% today. Plus Bitcoin play, and as a merger coming up, just like support, and the chart looks identical to support before its big run. Don't disagree with most of what Will has had to say there. Here was on the 27th, what we had in BBIG when it was a $3.63 stock. Most of you are aware that BBIG made a very nice run. BBIG, in fact, ran all the way to $10. So from the 27th, which was last Friday, when we saw this, 18,000 of the September 5 calls being bought, I have already rolled up and taken profits. Bang, that's just BBIG. What about the others that were mentioned in that post? Support, SPRT. Well, we started seeing unusual activity in that July 22nd. They were buying the August 7 calls when that stock was $5.97. SPRT, as you may recall, traded all the way up to and through 38. So took some nice profits there, kept rolling up, trading out of those 10s, rolled up to the 15s, traded out of those, rolled up to the 20s, and so forth. This thing was a gift from the trading gods, my friend. SPRT. And then lastly, any, yeah. Have we had any? You bet we have. 30th of August, which would have been, I believe, Monday of this week. We had unusual activity with the stock at 705. Then today we had it with the stock at 7. Then we had it again today, 36 minutes later, when the stock popped $1.57. Because look at that, 9-2, 10:01 a.m., 9-2, 10:36 a.m. So any, do I believe? You bet I believe, and I've already taken profits. So right now the stock is trading $9.27-ish. Like it. All right. Third and final, Paul Adcock, whose handle is at PDANYSEARCA. He says, thoughts on ABML CEO change and the path going forward. Well, I'm glad you asked, Paul. I traded ABML and have traded it for the better part of a year and a half. I own over 1 million shares of this stock. I own it from when it was under 30 cents a share. Popped all the way into the $4 range. Short sellers came in, feasted on it, and it had pulled back and is presently today unchanged at $1.45.5, 1455. I know some of you are waiting for me to pump the stock. I don't pump stocks. I talk about stocks that I own, where I have eaten my own cooking, as they say. So I am still in this stock. I have not sold a share here in the last 6 months. Sold some last year on that big pop because that was just prudent. I owned it from whatever, 30 cents up into $4. If you don't take some profits there, my friends, I can't help you. And I can't pull the trigger for you. But I have not sold a single share in the last 6 months. And it's been higher. It's been over $2 for a while. In fact, this week, if you take a look, when the new CEO is named, he was the CTO, Chief Technology Officer, and his name is Ryan Melser. And on Monday, it popped to $1.91. I did not sell. I still think that this stock has significantly higher numbers ahead of it. Do I think that happens because I mention it here? No. And I am not trying to pump the stock. I am telling you, I own over 1 million shares of this stock. The reason I'm telling you that is that I like to disclose my ownership of positions on this program, as well as on the halftime report. You will also see it in my disclosures on the halftime report. I rarely get to talk about it because it's, I think, in the 850 million range, and they don't want me talking about stocks under $1 billion. So when it was over $1 billion, I could talk about it. Presently on TV, I rarely get a chance to talk about it. But nonetheless, I like Lithium America, a recycling play. I like the new one that just came out through SPAC, I think a week ago. That's also a recycling lithium play. Folks, there is no way that General Motors is going to get out of internal combustion engines and into lithium ion batteries without recycling. And many of these car companies will become partners of Lithium America or ABML. And why? Because they need this, just like Tesla needs it. Their factory is located literally right next door to Tesla, where they recycle lithium batteries. And they don't do it the ugly way that they do it in China. They recycle lithium without setting it on fire and melting everything around it. And I think as you start to see more, every time somebody has a cell phone and they get rid of it, if you see companies that have to take that and send it to a recycler like ABML, they're going to get paid and are getting paid to take the lithium that they can then tear apart and resell it. There are a few better business models, folks, than getting paid for your the resource that you need to make the final product. So I think cobalt, nickel, manganese, and lithium are huge parts of the recycling play. That's why, Paul, I am in American Battery and Metals. And the fact that they have a Tesla battery guy that's now the CEO, the old CEO, Doug Cole, who is a friend of mine, is still the chairman of the company. He did not cut and run. He did not sell all his stock or anything like that. But now Ryan Meltzer is indeed the chair of the company. No, I'm sorry, the CEO of the company. And he's a brilliant guy. He's got the chops. He's got the connections to Tesla. Like I said, they're located right next door to Tesla. What could be better than being a recycled lithium player right next door to the biggest buyer of lithium on the planet? That would be Tesla and that gigafactory. So that's it for ABML and Tesla. If you would like to join the rebellion, I would encourage you to do that. And I'm sorry, by the way, I forgot I had the mic way over there. So I'm sorry if I sounded hollow today. But marketrebellion.com/get started. That's marketrebellion.com/get started will get you in the right place to sign up for subscriptions, to learn, do some distance learning, to get in there and have a coach or a mentor. All of that is available. Subscriptions, coaches, mentors, learning and basic education for stock, options, and futures, as well as cryptocurrencies. Check it out, marketrebellion.com/get started. Get going now, folks. You still got 40 minutes to trade. Let's go make some more money. Bang.